Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Today is, let me double check, November 5th. What day of the week is today? Let me check my calendar. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Heather Hope. I talk about the law of attraction. That's basically what I do. I write about it and I talk about it. And I've written this book called The Inspired Entrepreneur. Okay, so November 5th is Thursday. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday, guys. In my world, every day is the same. So that's why I never know what day it is. And it doesn't really matter because they're all the same. So, yes, I've written the Inspired Entrepreneur 366 Days of Inspiration for the Entrepreneur, for those who are self-employed, who love the law of attraction, and who's trying to figure out how to really understand it with regards to their business. Okay, so today's November 5th, and let me read this one because it's one sentence, and I like this one a lot. Believing that what you want is done will make it happen. Let me get a drink of my water before I talk about this one. Yeah, hopefully I have like one sip left. Believing what you want is done will make it happen. Why is that? I feel like I'm in a classroom now asking, like, for real, why is that? Nobody's going to answer me because I'm talking to a microphone and nobody's here. Okay, so whenever you ask for something, it's done in the vibrational realm. But when you believe that it's done, so some things you can really believe that are done, that it's done. It's done. It's done. Like you just have this knowing that it's done. Gosh, there is something to be said about a knowing. I was doing that this morning on my way home from dropping my husband off. I knew that I was going to drive past somebody. A few of you know my saga with living in a small town and seeing people in a small town that you know that you may not want to see all the time. But since you live in a small town, and anyway, so I knew, like, I had just passed him on the way and I came back and I just knew, I just had this knowing that I was going to pass him, and I did. And it's just one of those, and I just laughed this morning because I'm like, it's just a knowing. And I think it's just more or less just this instinct that you have when you know something's going to happen. You just know. You just know. It's not a guess. It's not, oh, maybe I will type of thing. There are certain things that you just know. It's just a true knowing. And you know because you just know. Now, a lot of things are not like that, though. A lot of things you don't know that you don't know for sure, right? And so you're kind of hoping and guessing and wishing and all of that. But there's some things that you can get on board with when you really want them. Sometimes when you really want something, you can make it happen. So what was it, last year? So when my husband and I, we had an original wedding date. What was it? It was, let's see, we got married. When did we get married? That's a good question. Good Lord. July 13th. But our original wedding date was May 13th, because May 13th is our first date. So that's our anniversary from our first date. And so we really didn't get serious, if you want to say it, enough about saving money or accumulating money or attracting money, manifesting money, whatever you want. We didn't put our focus on it seriously enough to have the money to get married that day or, at that date. And about several weeks prior to it, we came to the realization that we didn't get serious about this because we were just going to get married in California at the beach, and it wasn't going to be like a wedding. It was just going to be us with an officiant and a photographer, and that's that, and stay at a hotel and that sort of thing. So, I mean, we just didn't want this big wedding. We don't have that many people in our lives anymore, and not a whole lot of family because we're older and all that sort of thing. And we just didn't want to make this big production, so we wanted that. But we didn't get really serious about any of the planning or any of the money or anything. So we came to the discussion of like, okay, this isn't really happening, is it? Because we didn't get focused. So we sat down and got focused about, okay, let's get real about this date. It's not going to happen May 13th. It's just not, because we didn't do it yet. We didn't get this stuff yet. So we decided on July 13th. We gave ourselves an extra 8 weeks on top of however many weeks we had. And then we got focused. Then we got very serious about where we wanted to stay, about all the planning. We got serious about the planning. And once I figured out, the hotel that we wanted to stay at, the dates, how many nights, all of the details, I got the price. It was very inexpensive. It was like $3,000. That was with oceanfront room for 5 nights with their dog. It very nice. Very nice, but not crazy. All over the place. So I decided, okay, so we needed $3,000 extra. And so this was, last year. So my business wasn't making much money back then. And so I actually wrote a check. I made checks from the Millionaire Manifestors Bank. And so I made a check for $3,000. And I got very serious with my mindset. Very serious. Because I really wanted to manifest a chunk of money. Like, I wanted to manifest $3,000. And so I wrote the check, and, it was part of my morning mindset routine of looking at these checks and knowing that they're done and all this other stuff that I used to do. And so I booked the hotel, and I booked what I could without, paying anything. And what was it? For about 3 weeks prior to the wedding, any second of doubt that came to my mind, I pushed it away and said, it's done. It's done. $3,000 is done. And I kept adding to the wedding a little bit here and there, whatever I wanted, like truly desired for the wedding. Like, we ended up having a wedding ceremony in Paradise Valley. Very, at a gorgeous little tiny park in the heart of Paradise Valley with the Camelback Mountain in the background, everything I wanted originally. And it was completely free because it was this little park that is free. It's beautiful. I discovered it one day just driving, and I drove into it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And it's free. Like, I checked it out. You don't have to rent it or do anything. You just show up. And, a friend of mine officiated. Like, everything was done. Like, it was so great. So I got to invite people. We took a black, SUV. We were living up here still, and we drove down and had a drink and an appetizer over at Cheesecake Factory down in Biltmore area. And we took a black car SUV over to the wedding site and got married. And then we all came back to Cheesecake Factory, had cheesecake and coffee. And that was our little reception, just our friends, our closest friends. And I don't think any family showed up. Like, literally no family showed up. I think that's true. Gosh, so help me. Yeah, I don't think a single family member showed up. They all had excuses why they didn't show up. There was like 4 or 5 of them total. And so they were just basically mostly Roger's close friends that he's had for years, most of his life, which is really cool. So it was a nice moment. It was a nice touch to have that with our friends. That was like kind of last minute, 3 weeks out. I sent out Evites because it was so last minute. It was just this inspired thing that I wanted to do. And so we did all this stuff, but in the meantime, I was like, the bigger portion was the oceanfront room and transportation and that sort of thing. And so I just got very serious that it's done. It's happening. Like I was like, I wanted this. This is what I wanted. I booked the room. This is what I wanted. And it's done. It's done. It's happening. Like there was no wishful thinking. There was no doubt. There was no like, oh my God, panicking that it wasn't going to happen. It was happening. It was happening. I got very strong with my mindset about that. It was done. It's happening. And so what's funny is that about 3 days prior to the wedding, my husband came, told me he didn't have his share. Because we were both supposed to contribute. Like the money was coming somehow. I had my half, just that I have accumulated. It wasn't that much money. I don't think 3,000 is much at all. I don't think that's hard to manifest. But he didn't have his half for whatever reason. And so I was pretty upset for about a little bit, like a few minutes, half hour max. And so I was really like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And so I checked my email really quick because in that moment I thought, oh my God, what is the cancel date? Or what's the cancellation for the hotel? And I look and it was 72 hours. I had to cancel, 72 hours before to get, did I pay for it already? I can't remember the details now, but I think we would owe like the first night or the whole thing. That's what it would be. Like no, they would charge me anyway. And like I could that's not a big deal. I had money to pay for it. It was the principle of like, we're in this together, right? And so it was 71 hours at that moment. We just missed the deadline of the hotel. And I was like, okay, overdrive, mindset overdrive. It's happening because we missed the cancellation time. Perfect timing, because I might have seriously canceled it had we didn't miss that cancellation deadline. And I was like, nope, it's on. I don't care. It's happening. And in that meantime, I had a girl who had been messaging me for a few weeks saying she was going to work with me. And my fee at that time was like $3,000. So that was my price to work with me for 3 months was $3,000. And she had been working on getting a loan, getting credit for it. And during that time, but you kind of don't put all your eggs in one basket. You let the universe bring it to you, however it's going to bring it to you, right? And I didn't wobble. I knew she was going to get it. I taught her how to not wobble in the meantime. There's like a whole thing about that of like helping your future clients manifest money so they can pay you. That's a whole nother book there, because I got really good at doing that, helping my potential clients pay to work with me. Because so often the number one thing is like, oh, I don't have the money to pay you. And it's like, okay, fine. And I don't really get that often anymore, but because I don't even think about it. I don't even think about people not being able to afford it. It's not even a thing I think about, because I worked on that. But so 2 days prior, did we get married on a Sunday? Don't tell me we got married twice. No, it was on a Saturday. Yeah, it was the day before. The day before was that Friday. So it was July 12th. First thing in the morning, I got the notification from her that she got the money in. She got her loan funded, and she had it. She's like, how do I send it to you? And I'm like, and it was $3,000. And I'm like, perfect, perfect, perfect. And also, what happened was, this was so brilliant as well. Abraham says, like, somebody says, oh, I want, $5,000 or whatever it is. So my focus was $3,000. That there's multiples of $3,000 in your vortex at that point. There's lots of them. So they can come from all these directions. So what happened was, since I had a wedding, I was inspired to actually have a wedding, and it kind of made it real. Instead of like, oh, we got married on Saturday, nobody cares, basically, some people did. That I sent invites out, and, a few days later, while we were in California, I got like a PayPal or a check or something from my father for $3,000 as well. And so, so within 5 days, I received 2 PayPal notifications of $3,000. So, and then I also had like 2 more clients sign up for my academy while I was there in California that I didn't even know who they were. Like, they just came out of nowhere and they signed up, and I never saw their name before. And they're like, I've been following you, I want to in, blah, blah, blah. So it was just like the floodgates opened for a little bit, because I was so focused on, I get whatever I want. Like, I was very focused on that, because I realized that what I truly desire is coming, because I want it, and the universe will figure out how it comes to me. So I got really strong on my mindset with that, and I just kept seeing it happen and happen and happen and happen, because I wasn't wobbling. And then I was teaching my potential clients not to wobble, and money came in for them, and money came in for me. And it was just it was such a cool experience, because I did not wobble during those weeks. I wobbled for like 20 minutes that one day, and we missed the deadline to cancel. And then it was 2 days later that the money came in, the day before we were leaving for California, or I can't remember. Yeah. Well, no, we ended up leaving on Monday. So we got married on Saturday, and left. No, we left on Sunday. So our first night in California was Sunday. So Friday morning, I got the $3,000. Saturday, we got married. Sunday, we left for California. And then Wednesday, I got another notification for another $3,000. And I'm like, see that inspiration of, I want a wedding all of a sudden. I want a ceremony. So I got to invite people to my wedding, which, then people are like, oh yeah, you're getting married, let me send you something, and it wasn't like anything like that. It was just like, I felt like I actually felt finally I wanted people there with us. And then that provoked, a family member to send us a gift, which is really cool. So anyway, follow your inspiration, get solid with what you want is done, because you want it, because it's a desire, and you get to have anything that you want. And just get very solid with that mindset of, this is what I call hardcore mindset of, you get fixated on that it's done, and that's awesome, and it's going to be amazing, and having the vision of how the end result's going to be. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go for today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.